Department of Defense has released a very strange video that has baffled fighter pilots on training missions. It's stunned them. They are stunned. Now, they don't know what it is. Now, I've watched the video time and time again. It looks like I'll be honest with you, it looks like some kind of a saucer craft. It's moving at an insane speed over top the clouds, and these fighter pilots are totally baffled by what in the world it is. They don't know what it is. I mean, is it a new military vehicle that somebody has, that the United States has, or is it some other kind of? They're calling it a UFO sighting, of course. That means unidentified flying object, because they don't know what it is. But according to New York Times, that the Pentagon has had an ongoing UFO program for decades. What's not so clear as the general public is that this program allotted for $22 million out of the $600 billion annual budget by the Defense Department. So in the thumbnail of this video, I show you this picture. It's very strange. And of this item. Now I'm going to talk about it in our broadcast tonight. Don't miss it. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 7 p.m. Eastern. The question is, what is it? Okay. Now, there's a couple things that's going on also. Over at the Crusader Journal, Bart Begley has released an article about, does the Pentagon still have a UFO program? The answer is a bit mysterious as well. They talk about the fact the Pentagon acknowledged yesterday that its long secret UFO investigation program ended in 2012 when U.S. defense officials shifted their attention to funding to other priorities. But as to whether the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program has continued to investigate UFO sightings since its funding ended 5 years ago could rank as an unexplained phenomenon. Matter of fact, the New York Times, Bart reports over at the Crusader Journal that the Hush Hush program tasked with investigating sightings of unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, this governmental program ran from 2007 to 2012. They spent $22 million every year, annual secretly funding tucked away in U.S. Defense Department budgets worth, of course, $600 billion. Now, its annual funding came largely at the request of the former Senate Democratic leader Harry Reid. Wanted this money spent on UFOs, and the Nevada Democrat, long known for his enthusiasm for space phenomena, according to newspaper reports. Yet, according to its backers, the program remains in existence, and officials continue to investigate UFO episodes brought to their attention by members of the military. The Pentagon openly acknowledged the fate of the program as response to a Reuters inquiry. The Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program ended in 2012. In that time frame, the question is, will they open the secret UFO files? And they did release the this video of a baffled fighter pilot on a training mission who encounters a unidentified flying object flying at an insane speed over the clouds, but going sideways. Okay, so the craft it's not an airplane, it's a craft standing there almost like a saucer, but it's going horizontal above the clouds at 120 knots without making a sound, and doesn't have wings like a plane. What? Is it a secret special hovercraft by one of the militaries of the world, whether it be the United States, Russia, or China, or something else?
of UFO footage that was released by none other than, you guessed it, Tom DeLonge, the man we spoke about in yesterday's video, as well as a groundbreaking new New York Times article which discusses the Pentagon's mysterious UFO program that was apparently going on under the noses of the public for years before being shut down. Now, this piece of UFO footage that you're about to see was, it's released by the Defense Department, and it was part of their Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. And so this is in the article. It was also featured on Tom DeLonge's To the Stars page. Well, you guys take a look at it and tell me what you think. We'll talk more in just a minute.
Against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Oh, I'll take it. That's not LNS. It's not LNS, man. Well, the other thing, it's rotating.
Okay, so, interesting clip. Unfortunately, we only get, half, we don't even get the full video, which kind of irked me. It's degraded, we know that much, but it seems to be a legitimate clip taken by an F-18 Super Hornet jet as it tracked this mysterious, gravity-defying, some would say, unidentified object. And so, according to this new article, in the $600 billion annual Defense Department budgets, the $22 million that was spent on the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program was almost impossible to find, which is exactly how the Pentagon wanted it. For years, the program investigated reports of unidentified flying objects, according to department officials, and was operated by a military intelligence official, Luis Elizondo, on the 5th floor of the Pentagon Sea Ring deep within the building's maze. The Defense Department has never before acknowledged the existence of the program, which says it was shut down in 2012. But its backers say that while the Pentagon ended funding for the effort at the time, the program remains in existence. For the past 5 years, they say, officials with the program have continued to investigate episodes brought to them while also carrying out their other duties. The shadowy program, with parts of it that remain classified, began in 2007, and initially it was largely funded at the request of Harry Reid, the Nevada Democrat who was the Senate Majority Leader at the time and who has long had an interest in the space phenomena. Most of the money went to an aerospace research company run by a billionaire entrepreneur and longtime friend of Mr. Reed's, Robert Bigelow, who many of you know, we've spoken about him before, who is the man who is working with NASA right now to produce these expandable craft for humans to use in space. On CBS's 60 Minutes, Mr. Bigelow back in May said that, quote, he was absolutely convinced that aliens exist and that the UFOs have visited Earth. Now here's where things get interesting. Working with Mr. Bigelow's Las Vegas-based company, the program produced documents that described sightings of aircraft that seemed to move at very high velocities with no visible signs of propulsion or that hovered with no apparent means of lift. Officials with the program have also studied videos of encounters between unknown objects and American aircraft, including one released in August of a whitish oval object about the size of a commercial plane that was chased by 2 F-18 fighters from the aircraft carrier Nimitz off the coast of San Diego in 2004. Now, we featured this video before, but if you haven't seen it, here it is. And so, in response to questions from the New York Times while doing this article, Pentagon officials this month acknowledged the existence of the program, but insisted that the effort had ended after 5 years in 2012. Stating, quote, "It was determined that there were other higher priority issues that merited funding, and it was in the best interest of the DoD to make a change." However, Mr. Elizondo said that he continued to work within this project up until this past October, after which he resigned to protest what he characterized as excessive secrecy and internal opposition, stating that after he left, there was even a successor named, which he declined to reveal. And so there you guys have it. That's not the entire article, but I will post a link to it down below. There's much more, and you guys can head over and read it. But now I want to talk about what Mr. DeLong is stating in this new update to his To the Stars Academy. So, as you guys know, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding Tom DeLong. I posted a video yesterday showing you guys a clip which revealed Joe Rogan's personal thoughts about the man. Now, as many of you know, I've been skeptical. But then again, everybody should be. Especially when you're raising $2-3 million, providing yourself a salary each year of $100,000, which goes right into Tom's pockets. You have to produce something. And as I've said many times before, if he furthers the cause of this research, then I am all for it. If he doesn't, then I'm not for it, and only time will tell. But as long as I am reporting on the UFO agenda, Tom is fair game. He is a major player now in this research, and so that is why I will continue to report about him, just as I would report on anyone else, and have many times before that is involved in this research. So I'm just kind of taking a step back and watching to see what happens. But along with this video of this new UFO footage that was released, Mr. DeLong said that this clip is only the first of 3 future military videos that are going to be released of unidentified aerial phenomenon, or UAPs as Mr. DeLong has called them. And on his website, he goes into quite a bit of detail, talking about this particular piece of footage, the background of the gimbal system that is used by these jets to track objects like this, and states that this clip here is hardcore proof that these physics-defying craft do exist and that are routinely tracked in our skies. So again, yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have seen the full clip. I'm not sure why they cut it off so soon, and why Mr. DeLong can't just release all of them all at once. You know, that's got a lot of people asking, you know, for $2 million, you would at least think that you would get the full video. And what can I say? I think we'd all love to see the full video, but at least we have something here. You guys head over, you can read this full article, very interesting, from the New York Times. Do you think that this is all legitimate? Do you think this is some sort of disinfo campaign? Put it down below, I'd love to hear it. And as always, stay tuned, subscribe, stop by our online...
Department of Defense has released a very strange video that has baffled fighter pilots on training missions. It's stunned them. They are stunned. Now, they don't know what it is. Now, I've watched the video time and time again, allotted for $22 million out of the $600 billion annual budget by the Defense Department. So in the thumbnail of this video, I show you this picture. It's very strange. And of this item. Now, I'm going to talk about it that somebody has, that the United States has, or is it some other kind of... They're calling it a UFO sighting, of course. That means unidentified flying object, because they don't know what it is. But according to the New York Times, that the Pentagon has had an ongoing UFO program for decades. What's not so clear as the general public is that this program, and it looks like I'll be honest with you, it looks like some kind of a saucer craft. It's moving at an insane speed over top the clouds, and these fighter pilots are totally baffled by what in the world it is. They don't know what it is. I mean, is it a new military vehicle. The broadcast tonight, don't miss it, starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 7 p.m. Eastern. The question is, what is it? Okay. Now, there's a couple things that's going on also. Over at the Crusader Journal, Bart Begley has released an article about, does the Pentagon still have a UFO